Virgo season. It is officially my birthday season. I cannot wait. We are T minus 1 day as I record this. This is Saturday, the 22nd of August, and my birthday is tomorrow. It is, yeah, I'm excited because this is the big 50, and I'm 50 era. So, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you're new here, thank you for joining. And if you've been following me or you're in my community, you know that we've been doing, well, last month we started, or last season, we started with the Leo season. And I've been doing workshops around what what the seasons are about. So Leo season was about being seen, and I went through the different human design gates and gene key shadows and gifts. So now this season is all about Virgo season, and I have a presentation which I'm going to share with you. I'm doing things slightly different this time around. I'm actually recording in Substack. I've never recorded in Substack. I don't know how it's going to come out, but we're here for the trial and error. You know, I am a line 3 after all. So I'm going to share my screen and jump straight into it. And if you are new here, you don't even know who I am. So I'm Andrea Corbett, and I am the founder of Live Life by Your Design community, which is over on School. It's primarily for women over 40 who want to learn how to live life by their design. I do have people in there that are younger, but the premise is that when we get to a certain age, we are done with the scripts. We want to know what is our own energetic blueprint and how we, aka ourselves, could be living by our own design. And we are all unique. And so that's the premise of it. We go through a lot around human design, gene keys, and astrology. So I thought, what better way can I combine all of those modalities so that I'm also learning, because I'm work in progress, and I'm able to deliver and be my teaching bag, because I'm a qualified teacher, and teach everybody else and show everybody else what's happening. And so I've come up with seasons. So like I said, last season was Leo season. This season is Virgo. Then we go into Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to share my screen so we can get started ASAP. And let's see what Virgo season is all about. So Virgo season is about refining your access, and I'll go into that in a bit more detail now. Let's crack on. So during Leo season, we explored, so if you was with me during Leo season, we explored being seen, using our voices and expressing more of who we are. Unfortunately for me, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, I didn't show up as much as I would have liked to. And that then meant that I was able to dig a lot deeper into, why am I not showing up? Why? I have a voice. I love to talk. Why am I not using my voice? I have the channel 2034, which is the channel of charisma in human design. It's the throat channel, or throat center. Getting my words all mixed up here. And I wasn't using my voice, and I wasn't really expressing who I am. I was doing the workshops, but I wasn't actually, again, full transparency, doing what I was saying that everybody else should do. And going through that journey really helped me to unpack a few things about my inner child, my lived experience, and yeah, quite a few things came up for me that I'm hoping that I can refine during the Virgo season. So Virgo season, as you see there, begins with a different question. What are we going to do with everything visibility has revealed? So as I mentioned, I've got a list of things that I want to do with everything that it revealed, why I wasn't being visible. And so for me, there's that I want to get on with. And Virgo season also notices what needs attention, because Virgos we got it like that. Virgo separates useful information from distraction, and Virgo improves through observation, skill, and practical action. And that is something why I'm really looking forward to the refining through Virgo season, because I want to put into action all of the things that came up for me in Leo season. So the learning outcomes for this Virgo season, or even just for this session, this workshop, we're going to understand that Virgo is actually a mutable earth, and it's ruled by Mercury. We're going to recognize the difference between refinement, perfectionism, and criticism. We can identify which area of your life Virgo activates in your charts. We're going to look at the houses. We're going to explore human design gate 59. We're not actually going to look at gate 55. I've taken that out, and I should have taken it out here, but I'm leaving this in here. Done, not perfect. That was another one of my themes that came out for Leo season. And we're going to examine where you're too closed, too available, or appropriately open. And we're going to choose one barrier, boundary, or process to refine this week. So what happens is each week I will come with a new gate / gene key, and we'll have a look at what does that look like in terms of the Virgo season. So in this season, what we're going to be going through, we're looking at visibility, performance, attention, exposure, and big energy. So Virgo season, this is what we're going to be looking at. What this season activates within us: organization, discernment, skill development, daily practices, being observant, problem solving. These are all attributes of a Virgo. And there are a few here that I know personally that I need to really be working. I know the first one for me is organization. I really need to be working on being more organized. I have a lot of information and I need to organize that information. And so choose here which one of these themes that you feel drawn to, and just write that down, and let's see how you get on throughout the whole of Virgo season. And Virgo season, which I haven't actually mentioned, is from August the 22nd to September the 22nd. So this is how long these sessions are going to be lasting for Virgo season. I've come up with my own structure on how I like to learn. So whether I'm working with a one-to-one client, groups, doing these types of workshops, I want us to be able to learn. So what are we collectively learning? Then we're going to identify, we're going to look at where is whatever we have learned, where is this showing up for me? And then shift what needs to be changed, and then practice what will I do differently. So it's called the LISP methodology that I use throughout all of my work: learn, identify, shift, and practice. In my community, so Live Life by Your Design, and just with any of the work that I do, I really want people that I'm working with to feel seen, and that's safe. So safe enough to be honest, empowered enough to choose what works for you. And yes, I may be delivering this workshop, and some things that I say may not resonate with you, but I would really want you to choose what resonates with you and be empowered to do that. I want to educate you. As I mentioned before, I am a qualified school teacher. So education is the key for me. Education is something that's in my blood, and I just love to educate. So I want you to be educated enough to understand yourself, so you can then really live life by your design, and nourished. I want you to leave with feeling that you've had, you've been nourished. I've given you some food for thought, and that has helped you to feel seen. So with Virgo, it's ruled by Mercury, and here are some things that are attributes of Mercury being ruled, Virgo being ruled by Mercury. So it gives us our thoughts, our language, communication, and these are all attributes of Mercury. And Mercury actually enters Virgo on the 25th of August. So this will help us support in clear thinking, editing, organizing, and information, and more precise language. So I actually have a stellium in Virgo, which I'm going to do a separate video of, and Mercury is actually so I can't talk, is sitting with Virgo. So I've got Virgo, my Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars all sitting in Virgo in the 10th house. Now that's what you call a stellium, where you have 3 or more planets in one house. So when we're looking at Mercury, there are some questions that we're going to have, and throughout these workshops, I will always give you questions to ponder on, You can pause, you can write these questions down, you can even, journal through these questions. And there you go. So I won't go through all of the questions. I'll just leave it for you to screenshot, write them down, and like really get into it and journal through these questions. Remember, it's all about take what resonates and leave what doesn't. As I mentioned just shortly ago, my Virgo is in the 10th house. So what I've done here, just if you want a screenshot, if you know what house your Virgo is in, you can take a look there. So here's house 1 to 6, and this is using the whole sign chart. And if you don't know what house your Virgo sits in, I will leave a link to my website where you can actually download a free copy of your astrological chart, and it will then highlight what house your Virgo will be sitting in. And it is byyourdesign.co.uk. So here's houses 1 to 6, and then here is houses 7 to 12. So this just gives you a little bit of insight into the meaning of Virgo in the different houses. Not too much. These workshops are not to teach all about astrology and all about human design and all about gene keys. It's giving you the flavors of them and seeing how they connect together. And for me, it's enabling me to see, or now allowing me to actually deliver the modalities that I work with in one space. So it makes me happy. So, as I mentioned before, my Virgo actually occupies my 10th house. And I said my Virgo Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So this gives me a strong attention on public work, vocation, communication, and contribution. The Virgo season now asks me to organize that public expression around a clearer message and stronger delivery practice without waiting for perfection. And this is exactly the pathway that I want to go on, like, especially as I mentioned earlier, from learning what I had gathered from the Leo season, I really want to make these changes with the Virgo season. So that is me looking at what needs attention and not judging. I judge myself a lot, you know. We won't go into that. I'll make that a whole different video. I want to keep these short and short as possible, so straight to the point. So in Virgo season, we start off with gate 59, and this is the gate of intimacy. So what I'm going to be doing here is going into the human design gates and then having a look at the gene key modules as well. So in human design, the gate of intimacy, and this can be found in the sacral center. It's a tribal defense circuit. Just point out as well, if you don't know your human design and you don't know if this relates to you or not, using the same website, byyourdesign.co.uk, you can also download a free human design chart as well. So with gate 59 relates to intimacy, bonding, and dissolving barriers between people. So a healthy look on gate 59 is about honest communication and trust, appropriate openness, meaningful collaborations, and lowering unnecessary defenses. Unbalanced look on gate 59 is forced closeness, sharing too much too soon, using polished content as protection, and having access without clear boundaries. So one thing I would love you to reflect on here is, where have I confused visibility with intimacy? And am I sharing information without forming relationships? So this, you can reword this reflection, but it's just about saying, how are you being intimate? And what happens with the words that are used in both human design and gene keys? Richard Rudd, who's the creator of Gene Keys, uses the word contemplation. It's really contemplating the word and not always using it as the everyday use of it. So, for example, intimate. When I saw intimacy, I was like, "Who? Intimacy? That's a bit get a bit too crossing the line. Where am I intimate with people? But it's not. It's about how open are you? And when we look at it from the Gene Keys perspective, we can go into a bit more detail now or make a little bit more sense as well. But here I really want you to look at do you feel like you're sharing too much information without forming relationships first, or vice versa? So when I said about gate 59, it sits in the sacral center within the defense center or circuit, shall I say. So this is part of the design is a fundamentally about who you let inside the circle for real support and who stays on the edge. So it's all about breaking barriers. And in the modern context, this shows up as who earns access to your time, your unfinished work, and your actual opinion, rather than the version of you perform for an audience. And this is actually something that only once I found out about human design and that I was gate 59, um, I really had to break down a lot of barriers for myself because I was very closed off. To the point where I'm laughing because this actually came up the other day. Someone reminded me of what I did. I was so closed off that people would ask me what my name is. I wouldn't actually give them my real name. Like I was so in defense mode for many different reasons, which I won't go into here. But I slowly had to break down some barriers, and I done that by going on my healing journey, learning a lot more about how I need to live my life by my design, really finding out about my energetic blueprint. And so these are all the this is what I now help people to do. All the things that I've learned from myself, my lived experience of breaking down barriers, I now help others to break down their barriers. And because I've worked out multiple ways on how to do that. And I'm so grateful for everybody that's been part of this journey. And I'm grateful to have been able to go on the journey of breaking down barriers because I definitely wouldn't be here talking about all of this information if I didn't. Then in human design, there's 4 types, but generator, you got manifestor, generator, projector, and reflector. And manifesting generators, such as myself, we were kind of born out of the generator. So now they make up 5, but manifesting generator and generator come under the same umbrella. However, there are a few differences between the two. So what I've done here is for you to see, using your own type, how gate 59, the gate of intimacy, could show up for you. Because just even if you don't have it, gate 59 defined in your own chart, because this is a collective, so everybody will have gate 59 now in their collectively for the next 6 days. And so we'll be feeling the impact of everybody will feel in the impact of gate 59. Personally, because it is defined in my chart, I have this all the time. So for me, you may move forward as a manifesting generator. I'm reading mine out. You may move towards several people or communities at once, searching for connection, which I have done. And I've, reduced that as much as possible. The invitation is noticing which bond your sacral actually confirms. Like I've joined groups, paid to join groups because I wanted connection and I've got there. So my sacral's like, no, this is not the place for you. So I've had to learn to find, and I'm still on that journey of learning to find communities where I feel seen, where I feel safe, and where I can form a connection with other people. I've literally just joined a group actually on school called the Land of Virgos, and so I'm hoping that will be a community that will put me in spaces with people that align with the same mindset. And then obviously I have my own community, Live Life by Your Design, where that's my own personal space where I want to be going forward, like sharing more of my journey so that I can potentially help others. So this is gate 59 through the 5 types. Now, this shadow gift and siddhi comes from the gene key frequency. So I say that human design and gene key are like the cousins of each other, but the fundamentals all come from astrology and I Ching. And I'll go into the I Ching in a different video. But effectively, the 64 hexagrams are aligned with the 64 gates and the 64 gene keys. But let's bring it back to what we're looking at now. So what we're looking at now is the shadow gift and siddhi of gene key 59. So gene key 59, when you're in the shadow, it's dishonesty. When you're going in the journey to the gift, it's intimacy. And when you've reached, I call the siddhi like your higher self, that's when you're transparent. And you can fluctuate between all three depending on what community you're with, who you're with, and so on and so forth. So this is about contemplating the word. So when I first saw the word dishonesty, I had to think about dishonesty, and I straight away went to lies. And it's not, as it says here, dishonesty does not always mean deliberate lying. It includes hiding your needs, which I was doing a lot, pretending you feel comfortable, again, something that I aligned with, agreeing when you want to decline, or presenting a version of yourself designed to avoid judgment. So for years and years and years, I realized that I've been in my shadow of dishonesty because I ticked a lot of those boxes. So what this effectively means is that for the next 6 days, if you're feeling, if this kind of dishonesty feeling is coming up for you, I want you to really sit with that and look deeper into why is this coming up for me? Where am I being dishonest in, your personal, your business, family, friends, relationship, whatever it means for you. And then intimacy grows through honest presence. So I know for me, it's me showing up as my authentic self, like what I'm doing here. I talk a lot about shadow and gifts. I do mention siddhi, but when I'm doing these workshops, it's mainly focusing on the shadow and gift, because when this transparency, the siddhi version, like I said, it is your higher self. You have to really be sitting a lot in the gift state for you to really be like getting over into the siddhi state. So a reflection here is, who has earned greater access, and where am I given access without discernment? So a reflection point for you there. So we're moving on now to the visibility and access audit. So each session will have something, so we're following the similar structure. And here, I want you to have a look at when we spoke about where are you being too close. So here's some reflection here. Where am I too closed? For example, where do I hide behind preparation? Where do I avoid conversations after posting content? And you may have noticed that a lot of this is geared towards business. And that's because I primarily work with women over 40 who have their own business. But equally, you can change the wording to apply to your lifestyle. So these are questions you can screenshot this, like, where am I too closed? Where am I too open? Where do I share before trust has developed? Where do I give people more time or access than agreed? That could be in your business. You say that you're doing a 60-minute session, and then lo and behold, 90 minutes are going on to 2 hours. Where are you too open? Where do you over explain yourself? So they give you the different aspects of being too closed, too open, and then where access feels well held. So where are you in that, that even keel? Also, which relationships feels honest and reciprocal? Where do I communicate my boundaries clearly? So you may be doing that in one area in your life and not doing it in the other. So really, these prompts it's here for you to really sit down and self-coach. And if you are in the community, which is a free community that you're more than welcome to come into, unfortunately, it is open to women over 40. But like I said, if you identify as a woman and you're under 40, you're more than welcome to join us. So where are you? Let's go back a bit. Where am I too closed? Where am I too open? And where access feels well held. Like, where's that homeostasis? You're like, yeah, this feels good. Then we have something that we're moving into the shift. So the shift is moving from everyone needs access to me to access develops through trust and clear agreement. So on the left hand side, you're going from where you may be sitting in like the shadow or the not self aspect. And then the right hand side is where you can reframe that, where you can shift. So giving you some pointers where if you know, feel called to use those, you can make a shift. So we have here a shift declaration. So going back to these some pointers, and you may come up with your own. Here are some a declaration. So what are you no longer? I no longer need to. I understand it. Protected. I now choose. I will support myself by. So I really want you to sit with this for the next week or so to create your own shift declaration. And then when we said about, remember the list, so we've learned about the astrology aspect of Virgo season. We've learned about the gate 59, gene key 59. We've identified where this may show up for us, like where you've been too closed, where you've been too open, where it all feels right. Then we're making, so that's learn, identify, and then we're in the shift part of the LISP methodology. So we're going to be shifting, you're going to be choosing one action that you want to shift into. Sorry, the shift was making the shift declaration, sorry. And then here, now we're in the practice, you're going to choose one action that you want to practice for the next week or so, of what you've learned about how you want to refine in this Virgo season. So again, if you're in the community, we can go in a bit more detail about this. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And then we need to also remember that it's position over perfection. So what happens when I replace perfection with position? So position, you know, I always call it done, not perfect. So optimism is not pretending fear is gone. It is asking a believable, honest question about what else might be true. So really sitting with that, and this is your weekly experiment. And I've also included, for those that want to use it, again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Here we have an AI prompt that you could, you know, copy and paste your 3 sections, and it will help you choose the one barrier or boundary that will create the most honest change, and rehearse one clear sentence you could say this week if you're finding it difficult to come up with one for yourself. Again, this is optional. And then we have the 2 cards that you can draw. What barrier prevents genuine connection, and what boundaries supports honest intimacy? Remember, like, the shadow is all about the barriers, and the gift going forward is all about the intimacy. Then just some practice for this week is 5 things to notice. 1 moment when you're pulled away from connection, 1 moment when you offered too much access, 1 assumption you mistook for evidence, 1 of conversation where greater honesty improved understanding, and 1 process, message, or boundary that you refined. Again, you don't have to do all 5 of these things. You know, I'm trying to give as much information that you can do. Some journaling, some self-coaching. If you're in the community, you can come and ask questions, ask for some support, or you can even take this to your own coach. Whatever you choose to do, I really want to support everyone on this journey as much as possible. And so just to close out, your task this week is not to become more polished. Your task is to become more precise. And I, for one, really need to remember that. So I'm looking at my clock here and it says 11:11. I don't know if you can see that. So that is really cool to be ending on that note. So again, if you're in the community, please don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I believe this will be going up onto YouTube as well. So leave your comments in the comments section below, like, share, and hype if you find this over on the YouTube world, and come and have conversations with me. I really value any feedback. I'm a manifesting generator, so I respond to questions, and let's just continue this conversation. So this is been week 1 of the Virgo season, and I look forward to meeting you up next week in week 2. Have a great week.